But it's a few days now since the closing of the Tokyo Olympics, and we're now in that strange period of calm before the Paralympics begin, and we get excited about that. What an amazing Olympics it was, not only for Team GB, but also as a great opportunity for those sports that usually get little attention outside of the Games to get a bit of the limelight. But what effect does being an Olympic or Paralympic sport actually have on interest at grassroots level? And is there a correlation between the Games and being profile, the high profile, and participation? Well, there were 6 new sports at Tokyo: sports climbing, surfing, karate, and skateboarding, all making their debuts, while baseball and softball both made a return for the first time since 2008. So are people in Essex flocking to those sports now? We're going to have a look at 3 of those activities in this hour. Let's start off with karate. Jane Naylor-Jones is from the Chelmsford Karate Club. Hi, Jane. Welcome to BBC Essex.
Hi, how are you doing?
Really well. Thanks for your time. So have you seen any kind of increase and a bigger take-up in karate after it was included in the Games?
We've seen a huge take-up in karate since we came out of lockdown, but not because of the Olympic Games, sadly.
Oh,
And I'll kind of explain why.
please do.
Most Olympic sports have to have one governing body, and unfortunately, karate doesn't have one governing body. That's the first problem that, as I see it, in my personal opinion. Secondly, because it's a demonstration sport, you had to have people from Europe, the continent, as opposed to countries, as you do for all of the other sports. So there were no actually British karateka which is what we call karate athletes, in Tokyo. There were some phenomenal competitors and a lot of very, very good Europeans, but nobody from the UK. Which is very sad.
That meant presumably less profile then.
Well, I don't think there was much on terrestrial TV. I don't think it was covered by mainstream TV over here. So unless you were a karate aficionado or it was something you went out to look for, or maybe you had it on Eurosport or Discovery Channel for 24/7, as most of us did, then I think you probably wouldn't have seen it. However, as I say, the take-up of karate since we've been back out of lockdown has been absolutely amazing.
It's a bit of a missed opportunity then, by the sounds of things, for karate in this country.
I think there are a lot of, as there are in a lot of sports, there are a lot of political manoeuvrings that probably shouldn't have happened. Some athletes, and perhaps some of the better athletes, aren't getting funded by the government. Some of the sports you see, they're getting 24 million, 40 million. Karate doesn't get anywhere near that kind of amount. In fact, our organisation, the Karate Union of Great Britain, we fund our own athletes to go away. We don't get any government money.
Really?
So if we're going to a European Championships or a World Championships, of which we're champion of both at the minute, KUGB England, we don't get any funding towards it. So the athletes have jobs, they do this as a hobby, and they train extra hard to go away and compete at European and world level.
It seems to me a bit like a vicious circle with some of this, because it seems like you get the money when you get the medals, but surely you need the money to help you get the medals.
Isn't that the case? I mean, everybody who does any sport must have had a dream at some point in their life to win a major tournament, to win to be an Olympian. I mean, how fantastic has it been? I mean, absolutely overwhelmingly fantastic to see such a small island like ours come home with 65 medals. I mean, they were phenomenal. I mean, if that in itself doesn't encourage people to get active and try something different and just do another sport, I don't know what will. Those athletes should be, paraded up and down the street and cheered. They were amazing.
Yeah. Well, we've got some knitted post box toppers, I've noticed, with the athletes on. So hopefully people will see those. But I take your point. I mean, the fact that we have done so well as a country, hopefully, will kind of filter down to the grassroots of all kinds of sports and activity. In terms of people here in Essex, I mean, do you think there are people in our county that have got what it takes that could be Olympic champions?
In karate, oh, definitely. There are some fantastic people training. Some people who've been training since they were 4 or 5. I mean, I was a bit of a late starter. I started when I was 10, when no children did karate. But nowadays they can start at 4, and you'd think somebody of 4, really, they're not going to be able to do much, are they? They're just little people having a bit of fun. Some of our best athletes at the minute started when they were that age, and I think the life skills it teaches them, the respect, the integrity, the behavioural skills, all goes to building brilliant life skills for them in the future. And some of them do so well even at school. They've said that, because of what they've learned and how they've learned to behave, and how the work ethic that they've got from attending a karate class has stood them in good stead at school, and they've done well in their exams. One of our girls just gone to Oxford and is captain of the Oxford University karate team. I mean, that's fantastic, isn't it?
Brilliant. Yes, flying the Essex flag.
Absolutely. I mean, what I would say is there is an I Am Team GB event this weekend all over the country. I haven't heard too much about it in Essex, but we're taking part. And if people want to come down and have a little taster session at 10 o'clock on Sunday morning, feel free. Dovedale Sports Centre will be there, and we can tell them all about it.
Good. Thank you for that. Of course, karate now, as I understand it, not in the next games, probably not back until 2028 at least.
Yes, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed for you.
It gets sorted out by then.
Would you say overall, finally, Jane, it was worthwhile for karate, the fact that it was in the Olympics in Tokyo?
I think it was fantastic that it was there. I think it was fantastic. It was a demonstration sport. I mean, obviously, very sad that more people didn't get to see it in person in the arena and on TV in this country. I think that would have given everybody a huge boost. But there's a huge interest at the minute, and I'm very grateful for that. Coming out of lockdown and having trained in my living room and trained in the park and trained back in the sports centre, then back into the living room. I mean, anybody who does any sport has had to find that really trying. So the fact that so many people are keen to get out and do exercise of any kind at the minute in Essex, I think that's fantastic.
And if people want to taste, Sunday morning, Dovedale Sports Centre, Chelmsford, 10 o'clock, did you say?
10 o'clock, yes, just come along.
Okay.
We'd love to see you. You can come too if you'd like.
Thank you, Jane. Jane Naylor Jones from the Chelmsford Karate Club. I think I'm washing my hair. Yeah, which one? Thank you, Jane. We're going to talk about